Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call to order this July 11th, 2023 meeting of the Pierce County Council. The time is 3:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes, thank you. Councilmember Campbell,
Here.
Councilmember Krueger,
Here.
Councilmember Denson,
Here.
Councilmember Herrera,
Here.
Councilmember Hinchin,
Here.
Councilmember Morrell,
Here.
and Councilmember Mello.
Here.
There are 7 members present, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We have 7 members present and a quorum. Please join us in listening to the land acknowledgement and pledge of allegiance to the flag led by Councilmember Herrera, followed by a moment of silence dedicated to the men and women serving in our military overseas. Councilmember Herrera.
Thank you, Chair. We acknowledge that we are on traditional homelands of the Coast Salish tribes. Coast Salish people have lived on and stewarded these lands since time immemorial and continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step towards true allyship, and we commit to uplifting voices, experiences, and histories of the indigenous people of this land. I'd like to invite everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are now at Section 4, Approval of our Agenda. Is there any objection to approving our agenda as presented? I'm not seeing any. Our agenda will stand approved. On today's council meeting agenda, there will be multiple opportunities for public comment. On the consent agenda, you may provide comment on any final action item. This does not include items placed on the consent agenda for introduction or scheduling. On today's consent agenda, you will see 2 resolutions for final action that you may comment on. During sections 8 and 9 of the agenda, we will take public comment on each ordinance and resolution individually. And finally, under the community forum portion of our meeting, there will be an opportunity to address the council on any topic that is not on today's council meeting agenda. We now have the consent agenda before us for consideration. Does any member wish to pull any item from the consent agenda?
Chair, can I check, do we have any of the appointees online or in chambers, Mr. Vidal, Bear, or Harvey? Okay.
Does any member wish to pull any item from the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Morrell? Oh, excuse me, Councilmember Morrell?
Thank you. I would request moving proposal number 2023-24, putting it under other business.
The request has been made to move proposal 2023-24 to section 11 of our agenda. Does any member wish to move any other item from our consent agenda? Not seeing any. Vice Chair Campbell for a motion.
Thank you, Chair. I move to approve the consent agenda, moving item 1A to section 11 of our regular agenda.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt the consent agenda with the exception of moving proposal number 2023-24 to section 11 of our agenda. I will now open this up for a public hearing on final action items on today's council meeting agenda. Does any member of the public wish to provide any comment on any final action item on today's consent agenda? Please come to the podium, state your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes. Anyone in chambers on final action items on the consent agenda? Not seeing any, we'll move to Zoom. Does anyone on Zoom wish to provide public comment on final action items on the consent agenda? Raise your hand in Zoom or press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Not seeing any, we'll close the public hearing on the consent agenda, and I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll on the consent agenda.
Councilmember Krueger. Councilmember Krueger.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Aye.
Councilmember Morel.
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 7 ayes and 0 nays.
On a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays, the consent agenda is adopted. That brings us to Section 6, messages from the executive, judges, and prosecuting attorney. We have one message from the executive transmitting the following ordinance, which was approved and signed on July 6th, 2023, and that was ordinance number 2023-16, which was an ordinance of the Pierce County Council granting a non-exclusive franchise to the town of Eatonville for sewer lines. Under Section 7 of our agenda, proclamations, recognitions, and awards, there are none today, and there are also no ordinances for consideration today. That brings us to Section 9, resolutions. We have proposal number 2023-100 before us for consideration. Vice Chair Campbell for a motion.
I move proposal number R 2023-100.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt proposal number, resolution 2023-100. Madam Clerk, will you please read the title into the record?
Proposal number R 2023-100, a resolution of the Pierce County Council amending resolution number R 2022-190, establishing a select committee on homelessness, appointing members and officers, setting committee meeting days and times for 2023, and establishing a sunset date.
Thank you. Mr. Cox, to brief the council.
Yes, Chair Mello, members of the council, Jeff Cox, council staff. The proposal, as you just heard, will amend resolution, the last resolution amending our overall select committee rules as per what was done R 2023.
Mr. Cox, excuse me, we don't have the microphones working. I have all the lights on that I can see. I have to ask you to start again because the microphone was not working.
You can hear me now, right?
Yes. we can hear you now.
So, Jeff Cox again, council staff. The council's rules for standing select committees were last amended through R 2023-25, and they provide that select committees may be created as the need arises, and select committees of the council and membership shall be established by resolution of the council. Select committees are intended to be focused on specific purpose or problem and to have limited duration. The council created the Select Committee on Homelessness by adoption of Resolution R 2025, and the council desires to appoint members and officers and to set meeting days and time for 2023. You'll see with Exhibit A to the resolution that you have the list of current standing committees. If you go to page number 2, you see at the bottom it says Select Committees, and you have Select Committee on Homelessness. The meeting time is left blank, but you have Marty Campbell as chair, Robin Denson as vice chair, Paul Herrera as member, and Ryan Mello as an alternate. And you also have an amendment number 1 that would set the meeting time as the second and fourth Wednesdays at 1:30 p.m. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but I note there is that amendment.
Thank you. Before we get to committee amendment number 1, council amendment number 1, are there any questions about the underlying bill? Thank you, Mr. Cox. I'm not seeing any questions. Vice Chair Campbell for a motion.
Thank you, Chair. I move council amendment number 1 to R 2023-100.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt council amendment number 1. Mr. Cox?
Again, now you have in front of you the amended resolution, I think, that I just described. So.
Thank you. The amendment in front of us, for clarity, inserts the date and time for this new select committee on homelessness to be the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month, beginning at 1:30 p.m. This is the alternate Wednesdays of our Tacoma Pierce County Board of Health. So the Board of Health meets on the first and third Wednesdays in the afternoon. This allows members who serve on this committee to be here for this on the second and fourth Wednesdays to not conflict with the Board of Health. Any questions about Council Amendment Number 1? Not seeing any. The motion is to adopt Council Amendment Number 1. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The motion is adopted. We now have the resolution in front of us as amended. Are there any final council questions or comments before we open this up for a public hearing? Not seeing any. This is a public hearing on Resolution 2023-100. If you're a member of the public in council chambers, we'll invite you to the podium to make your remarks. We'll invite you to state your name. You have 3 minutes to make your remarks. Not seeing any, we'll move to Zoom. If you're on Zoom wishing to provide comment on 2023-100, please raise your hand in Zoom or press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Mr. Weinsberry? Seeing no hands, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council. Are there final remarks by council members? I'll just briefly remark that I'm grateful that the council is willing to take up this responsibility. Our Health and Human Services Committee has been working really hard on a lot of subject matter, so many other human services issues that, of course, have a direct tie to homelessness, but many others, behavioral health, mental health, substance abuse disorder, work on for our veterans supports. I mean, the list is long that our Health and Human Services Committee and staff are leading. And with the crisis in front of us on homelessness, this council believes we need a little bit special attention to get us through some really important policy matters here in the very early days of implementation of Pierce County's comprehensive plan to end homelessness. So this allows us to have that capacity to do just that, so the council's Health and Human Services Committee can pay attention to the myriad of other major initiatives that are on their plate. And I'm grateful to the leadership of Vice Chair Campbell and the other members who have agreed to serve on this committee, who will be making recommendations through the Health and Human Services Committee and to the full council. So certainly all of us will be very, very engaged in the major policy and investment decisions to come on homelessness. Vice Chair Campbell.
Chair, my apologies being a little slow on the draw to make comment there, but I think you covered most everything. Just happy to be bring this forward. I think it sends a really good signal to the community that we do see homelessness as one of the most pressing issues. And I know with council members Denson and Herrera, two of our newest members, having a chance to really crack into it, see what's working, make sure we're continuing what's working, and if it's not, what do we do with it? Do with that. And so it's always good for us to look at what we're doing. I think this is a good opportunity to have those focused conversations. So thank you all very much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you again to Councilmembers Campbell, Herrera, and Denson for your willingness to serve on this important committee. Seeing no further remarks by council, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on Resolution 2023-100?
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Hinchin.
Aye.
Councilmember Morale.
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Krueger.
Aye.
Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 7 ayes and 0 nays.
On a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays, the resolution is adopted. That brings us to proposal number R 2023-101. Vice Chair Campbell for a motion.
Move R 2023-101.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2023-101. Madam Clerk, will you please read the title into the record?
Proposal number R 2023-101, a resolution of the Pierce County Council identifying street lighting and other neighborhood traffic projects for funding pursuant to a proviso to the 2022 through 2023 Pierce County budget adopted pursuant to ordinance number 2021-100S2 as amended, and requesting the county engineer to review and authorize said projects.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor to brief the council.
Yes, thank you, Hugh Taylor, council staff.
The proposal before you begins at page 60 of your electronic packet. This proposal adopts a list of small-scale neighborhood traffic safety projects to be funded pursuant to a proviso to the county road fund that's set forth in the 2022-2023 Pierce County budget. In addition to identifying those projects, the resolution requests the county engineer to review and approve the projects and requests a quarterly progress report from the county engineer on the implementation of the projects. Funding comes from a $150,000 appropriation within the budget, with $75,000 to be available per fiscal year. Projects are identified by council district and include street lighting, traffic calming measures, parking studies, and speed studies. The projects are specifically listed in Exhibit A to the resolution. I'll note that the proposal before you today comes to you from the Economic and Infrastructure Development Committee, where it did receive a due pass recommendation at the committee's June 27th meeting. The proposal is before the council today for final consideration. There's one amendment. I'd be happy to run through that amendment once it's moved. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, I don't know that I see department staff on Zoom. Do you?
I do not. Department staff has been consulted on this, specifically Sarah Grice, the traffic engineer for the county, has been consulted. They've reviewed the project list. They've been provided with the amendment as well, and they've reviewed that. So I don't expect that the necessity of their presence today they're not needed today.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Thank you.
Roundabout way of saying that, but they're not needed today, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Are there questions for Mr. Taylor before we get to Council Amendment Number 1? Not seeing any. Councilmember Campbell for a motion.
I move Council Amendment Number 1 to R 2023-101.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt Council Amendment Number 1. Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. So Council Amendment Number 1 modifies Exhibit A in regard to 3 projects. It adds 2 new projects and then modifies the description of a 3rd project. The first project added is District 3, where a street light is proposed at the 176th Street South cul-de-sac. The second project being added is a speed study on Waller Road between the 4100 block and 4500 block for possible speed reduction measures and possible speed feedback signage. And then the third item in this amendment memo is a modification of a project that was previously in Exhibit A. This project is on Goodman Drive Northwest. The project description is being modified to eliminate reference to a speed study and instead identify that placement of speed feedback signage at specific locations as noted in the amendment memo is proposed. I'd be happy to answer any questions for you at this time.
Thank you. Are there any questions about Council Amendment Number 1? Not seeing any. The motion before us is adoption of Council Amendment Number 1. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion is adopted. We now have Proposal R 2023-101 in front of us. We'll open this up for a public hearing. Are there any members of the public in chambers wishing to provide comment on this resolution related to street lighting and traffic calming? Not seeing any in chambers. Anyone on Zoom, please raise your hand in Zoom or press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Mr. Weinsberry? Seeing no hands, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council. Are there any final remarks by council members? Councilmember Denson.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I just want to say that I really appreciated the opportunity that this program provided. It was a great opportunity for me to reach out to a lot of the constituent groups and individual constituents that I've been hearing from even before I took office about speeding concerns and safety concerns in particular. So it's not a ton of money, but I think it was great for the constituents to have a voice and have something that can be done in the relative near term, because a lot of the traffic-related projects that we do take years and years, and this is something that hopefully they can see they know we're listening, they know we're reacting, we're either studying or we're implementing something to directly address their concerns in a timely manner. So I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to Mr. Taylor and the department for their efficiency in looking at these projects and their consideration. So thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Denson. I'm not seeing any other final remarks by council members. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on R 2023-101?
Councilmember Herrera,
Aye.
Councilmember Hitchin,
Aye.
Councilmember Morel,
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell,
Aye.
Councilmember Krueger,
Aye.
Councilmember Dodson,
Aye.
Councilmember Miller.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 7 ayes and 0 nays.
On a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays, the resolution is adopted. That brings us to Proposal R 2023-106. Councilmember Denson for a motion.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I move proposal number R 2023-106.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2023-106. Madam Clerk, please read the title into the record.
Proposal number R 2023-106, a resolution of the Pierce County Council adopting its preliminary 2024 through 2025 biennial budget priorities, requesting the Pierce County Executive support these priorities in the 2024 through 2025 biennial budget for Pierce County, and requesting information. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, we're making you work extra hard today.
Right, thank you. So the proposal before you begins at page 72 of your packet. As the title indicates, this proposal adopts council priorities for the 2024-2025 biennial budget. Requests the executive address these priorities in the executive's budget proposal, and also requests information from the executive. This resolution is intended as a tool to communicate budget priorities to the executive and to the public. It's intended to be informational. It's hoped that through early and clear communication of priorities, the council will see less need to modify the budget or process budget amendments during the 24-25 budget deliberations. The priorities that are reflected in this resolution come from discussion that the council has had at retreats and study sessions. These priorities are broader, or a subset of a broader list of priorities that have been identified by the council. As the council knows, I think you have a list of about 90 priorities that you've identified for the 24-25 period of time. This is a subset of those priorities, specifically those that are most relevant to the 24-25 budget process. This proposal comes to you from the Rules and Operations Committee, where it received a due pass recommendation at yesterday's committee meeting. That's the July 10th meeting. It's before the council today for final consideration, and there is one amendment that I'd be happy to describe once it's been moved. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there questions for Mr. Taylor before we get to Council Amendment number 1? Not seeing any. Councilmember Hitchin for a motion.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to move Council Amendment Number 1 to R 2023-106.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt Council Amendment number 1. Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. So this amendment modifies provisions for reporting and budget priorities related to the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, allocations. The amendments are intended to have the council reaffirm its support for the 2022-2023 ARPA allocations. Request that the county executive identify any changes to those allocations in the 24-25 budget. So in other words, if any of the proposed uses of ARPA funds that were identified in the 2022-2023 budget, the current budget, are changed, reallocated, this amendment would request that the executive report out on those changes, specifically what the changes are, what the funding levels involved are, and the reasons for the potential changes. In addition to requiring that report out or requesting that report out, within the priorities section of the resolution, specifically Exhibit A, language is added, again, that affirms the council's support of the prior allocations in the 2022-2023 biennial budget. Be happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are there questions about Council Amendment number 1? Not seeing any. I appreciate the added clarity of this request to the executive here in this amendment. All those in favor of adopting Council Amendment number 1, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The motion is adopted. We now have Resolution 2023-106 in front of us as amended. Seeing no other hands, I'll open this up for a public hearing. Is there anyone in chambers wishing to provide public comment on the County Council's biennial budget priorities? Please come to the podium, state your name, Not seeing anyone coming to the podium in chambers. Anyone on Zoom wishing to provide comment on 2023-106, please raise your hand in Zoom or press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Seeing no hands, we will close the public hearing, bring it back to the council. Are there final remarks by council members? Councilmember Hitchin.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to acknowledge and thank the staff and the leadership to get us to a final document. It's a lot of priorities, but we reduced. We had 91 original, and we got it down, and we even reduced it, so good job, team. But I think that really articulating some of the things that are the highest priority for us, I think will get us a better product when it comes from the executives. I'm hoping that's the intention with this, is to clearly articulate things that are high priority from the council, so that when departments are proposing budgets and when the executive is looking at the budget, he has all of the information ahead of time, so it's not a what are you going to think? We've already told him what we think. These are our priorities. That doesn't mean things won't come up or changes will happen, but this I think helps level set a little bit. And so instead of going in blind and wondering what's the council going to do, we're saying here are some really significant ideas that we are going to put our energy behind, and we've agreed that these are high priorities, so work with us on it and less changes have to happen. So I think it's good teamwork as a council and as a county. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morell.
Thank you. And there again, I appreciate all the work that went into this, and for the council members who sat through several cows trying to, committees of a whole, to get this list reasonable. I think we all understand that we're coming out of a time where we had a lot of resources being thrown at us through CARES Act money and American Rescue Plan money. This time, we've got to deal with what's in front of us, which is a budget that will be challenging to navigate, because I think the real economy of Pierce County is starting to settle in, and we just need to highlight what our priorities, understanding that we're going to have a restricted budget coming into the 24-25 cycle. So with that, we just put it on the table. These are our priorities. We know that there's going to be cuts, but we would prefer to take a second look at these priorities. So thank you for the opportunity to do that, and hopefully we can work out a sensible budget when it comes time to do that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Morell. Councilmember Cooper.
Thank you, Chair. I too want to say give appreciation for all of those who have worked on this and putting it together. It's quite the smorgasbord, and in a perfect world, we would be able to implement all of it. I will support this today, but cautiously, because as Councilmember Morell indicated, our financial aspects are changing, and it is my hope that we will be putting the best priorities first that fit the needs of our constituent and what their wants and affordability. So thank you for all the hard work and this opportunity to work for what's good. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other remarks? I too want to very much thank all the members who put so much effort into this. I think the process to get here is what has been so very valuable. This started with an all-day retreat in March, where the council had an opportunity to talk about all of its hopes and dreams and wishes and concerns and ideas. And 2 days of early budget retreats in June, 2 full days of early budget retreats, where we've had really good conversations about the current budget, perspectives for the future budget, which of our policy priorities would require new or additional resources, or reprioritizing existing resources. And those many conversations were incredibly valuable to have with each other. And we know the executive was represented with his finance staff and other key leadership staff listening and participating with us. So the process was incredibly valuable. And I'm very grateful to our policy team, led by our policy director, Mr. Taylor, for the immense amount of thought and work that has gone into putting this on paper for us so we can communicate something clearly and thoughtfully. Really appreciate it. Vice Chair Campbell.
This before us doesn't actually allocate any money within it. This is just the, or am I missing that? Is there,
It's an expression that we will send to the executive to express what the council's priorities are.
okay, and that comes from all the ones, and it's housing and affordability. Number one, homelessness and stable housing. Number two, public safety. Number three, behavioral health and substance use disorder. Then young adults, economy and workforce, infrastructure needs, sustainability and livability, and then American Rescue Plan reallocations. So if that's the 9 areas I think we're sending as our priorities. So I will be supporting this because I think that is what we see as the needs out there. So, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Coover, I'm sorry, I can't tell if your hand is still up or if it was up from a previous time to request to speak. I still see your hand up, Councilmember Coover. Okay, it's down. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Campbell. Seeing no other remarks, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on Resolution 2023-106?
Yes. Councilmember Hinchin. Councilmember Morrell.
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Krueger.
Aye.
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Aye.
Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 7 ayes and 0 nays.
On a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays, the resolution is adopted. We now have proposal number R 2023-107S before us. Councilmember Hitchin for a motion.
Chair, I'd like to move for approval R 2023-107S.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2023-107S. Madam Clerk, will you please read the title into the record?
Proposal number R 2023-107, a resolution of the Pierce County Council establishing a policy and process for the display of commemorative flags in council chambers and affirming that display of commemorative flags in council chambers are government speech.
Thank you. Mr. Bridges, to brief the council.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, the title aptly describes the resolution. The resolution was substituted yesterday in the Rules Committee, and under the substitute, commemorative flags may be displayed in council chambers as an expression of the council's official government speech by using a policy and process that is described in the resolution. The council shall only consider requests to display a flag by council members. The policy is that commemorative flags are to be used to create civic pride, celebrate events, commemorate historic moments, honor or remember deeds and sacrifices, or reflect the great diversity of the county. The display of a flag shall be approved by the Rules and Operations Committee. Any commemorative flag must be displayed lower than and the same size or smaller than the flags of the United States or the state of Washington. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Are there questions by Mr. Bridges before we open this up for a public hearing? Councilmember Morrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for that explanation, Mr. Bridges. Can you explain to me the difference between government speech versus free speech?
Well, they are the same thing. One is a subset of the other. So you have First Amendment rights. Individuals have First Amendment rights in the U.S. Constitution, but government itself has a First Amendment right. So long as that right is expressed solely by a government entity without any public input. So you, as the council, can decide that you want to send a message to the public in your own chambers through the display of a flag, for example. This same sort of reasoning applies, as I mentioned yesterday, to license plates, for example. When the state of Washington creates a license plate, it has a process and it has rules that it follows so that it can control the message of the license plates, because perhaps government does not want license plates to promote certain types of speech that are not going to be popular with elected officials, for example, right? So well, I won't make up any examples, but you can imagine sort of examples in your mind, right? It's the same concept here. This is not a public forum. It is a forum for the council to express its own views. And that is government speech.
Okay. And then and thank you for that answer. And you've read through the proposal, kind of explained to us what it does and what it doesn't do. So as a council member, I can make a request
Yes.
to fly a certain flag, whether it be Ording High School or White River, and then it's submitted,
Or Curtis.
or Curtis. I don't know why I would do that, but anyway, just as an example. And then I would bring it to Rules and Operation Committee and say, hey, I think this is a great idea. And up or down vote, and hopefully the flag will fly. So that would be the procedure.
That is the process that's described in the resolution.
Okay. And then we kind of discussed this in committee meeting, your expectation of the flag, it will be singular? In other words, we're not going to fill the room with flags, are we?
So I have no expectations. That is for the Rules and Operations Committee to decide.
Okay. Well, that's an honest answer. Good job, Mr. Bridges. Obviously, you don't know the duration of how long a flag will stay up either, do you?
I do not.
Okay, I will reserve comment on that and wait for maybe the chair to answer that at a point in time. Thank you, Mr. Bridges.
Thank you. I do have Councilmember Cruver's hand up next. Councilmember Cruver?
Thank you, Chair. A lot was just explained, but I'm trying to understand, so is it specifically the Rules Committee that makes the decision, the 3 members? Is that correct?
Under the resolution, that is correct.
And then the explanation that on free speech, but with government being a creation of the public, it sounds as if the government is superseding the public in its authority or desire to be able to display a flag in the public chamber. Am I correct?
Well, I can tell you that the notion of government speech is a notion that has been created and endorsed by the U.S. Supreme Court. It's not something that we've made up. It is the law.
I guess maybe what I'm hearing, Mr. Bridges, if Councilmember Morell's constituents, if the White River High School won the wrestling championship and Councilmember Morell wanted to celebrate that and brought the idea to bring the White River High School flag, or school district flag, to Pierce County and the Pierce County Council chambers to do that, that would be informed by his constituents, informed by the public. He's free to do that. No one's stopping him from getting ideas
certainly.
from the public to say, this is a good idea, will you consider flying the White River School District flag in council chambers, correct?
That is correct. But the request must come from the council member, and it must be endorsed by the Rules and Operations Committee.
That is the distinction I just wanted us to understand. We get ideas all the time from the public, and those are highly encouraged. Councilmember Cruver, I'll let you continue.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just trying to wrap my head around the parameters of this in the sense that only 3 members are making the decision for the entire council that would have something of an unlimited or unstated duration. And I question on how it might be a sense of rivalry or causing more dissension that isn't necessary, or why doesn't my flag get to fly and this one does? And I question the long-term need or virtue of such a rule. So thank you, Chair.
I appreciate that. I would just respond, the Rules and Operations Committee is made up of the leadership of the council, the executive pro tem, the vice chair, and the chair. And it's, if the leadership is not, I don't know that we do everything perfect, and maybe folks don't agree with everything 100% of the time, but they are the elected leadership of the council, and to make these sorts of administrative decisions, many administrative decisions all the time on behalf of the council. So from an administrative procedure perspective, another example, the Rules and Operations Committee is tasked with putting the schedule together for the council meetings each week and approving the council meetings each week, including which proclamations we are going to read into the record and celebrate that week or not. That is a decision we've delegated to the Rules and Operations Committee. We delegate a lot of administrative and other decisions to the Rules and Operations Committee. So I think this is an efficient, effective way. We're a 7-member body. We listen to each other all the time. I have lots of evidence that we all listen to each other all the time, and everyone's ideas about how to use this tool to celebrate great things happening in our community, I think is going to work well. And folks we're a small body. Folks can, if they want a different administrative change or an idea, I think we're all very accessible to bring your idea and have it properly considered. Vice Chair Campbell.
Thank you, Chair. I know I have 3 things and only 2 are coming to mind. I will say that this is display of commemorative flags, which I think the plural, we think of one after the other, probably on a weekly basis for a time frame, or considered on a weekly basis. But if Fife High School was to play White River, we may want to put them both up at the same time. So to say that we'll never have a moment when we might want to, or if they win like a co-championship, there may be a time. Obviously, the intent is one flag at a time, likely rotated on or considered on a weekly basis. And Councilmember Krueger wasn't here for study session yesterday, where I discussed what I vision in rules is a 4-week or 6-week look-ahead calendar of these are the proclamations we'll have that week. This is what the flag for that week could be, and that way it's informed, and the rules adopts that. Because right now we're doing the proclamations a little differently, and it's still not entirely clear. That'll make sure that rules then has a say on what proclamations, and it provides the transparency of what's coming up ahead. Not we walk in on Monday and like, oh, what's going on, and so we all know what's happening, and we have a chance to discuss it, publicly beforehand. And so that's where we're at rules on that. And that was 2 items, and I'm forgetting my third. Oh, I remember my third now. Why I really like the idea that was brought forward of flags is it gives us something to rotate. The other policy we have is 2014-80S, which is the 2 plaques we have hanging in the back of the chambers. Absent a flag policy, then we would go back and amend 2014-80S every time we wanted to put a plaque up, and it would remain permanently. And we've never allowed, it's always been the council that's made that decision of what goes up on the walls as far as the plaques that hang in the back of the room. And if the flag is not the direction we want to go, then we could have a plaque up for everything. I was just a flag that we rotate through respectfully, and sometimes in conjunction with a proclamation, sometimes in lieu of a proclamation. Maybe we have something happening, we can have a flag back there and just acknowledge that this week we are flying the flag of whatever great thing that we're not doing a whole 20-minute proclamation on, but we're acknowledging it in our chambers. And so it provides us just that one more opportunity to acknowledge without the permanency of the 2014-80S of mounting plaques on the wall, and gives us more opportunity. I can even see our calendar expanding to, I know we've talked in the past about when it comes to recognizing things, not everything has to be a proclamations. Some can be an award, some can be an announcement, some can be just social media blasts that we put out. And all that could be put on this calendar so we get a picture in one place and all agree, or leadership agrees, on what those messages are going to be. This actually sets the stage for far more transparency and conversation as to where we're going, rather than right now, which sometimes is, let's drop a policy and then arm wrestle over it. So I look forward to a lot of positiveness coming out of this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Morel?
Thank you. I appreciate making another comment, and I guess this comment is probably directed towards you as chair. But I would like to have you kind of give me your expectations on, kind of how many flags you think we're going to have. We're obligated then to provide the pole, who provides the flags, and we decide the duration. And I look forward to flying the annual Cow Chip awards that Buckley has every year out here. So that could be a great flag. So anyway, those are my questions. I just, understand that we're going to work our way through this process, but can you kind of highlight those questions?
Happy to. Yeah, a lot of practical considerations should council move forward in this direction today. Not to give our staff hives and freak out, but we have limited staff capacity, so I think this is a great tool to add to our ceremonial toolbox. I do not anticipate us doing a different flag every week. That's a lot to coordinate and a lot of expense. So my expectation is that the Rules Committee will make the decision whether to fly a flag or not, and the duration. I think most of the time it will be for a week at a time. I think most of the time. Could be for a month, depending on what's happening, but I think on most occasions it will be for a week. Again, the Rules and Operations Committee will set those parameters when we make that decision. The flag could either be purchased by the Office of the County Council, especially if it's something we anticipate using on a ongoing basis, on a going forward basis. It could be a gift on loan from an entity like a school district or somewhere else. So it could be something loaned to us, assuming it met our specifications. But we would have a fourth base pole, and a pole and a flag, a base and a flagpole that's appropriate to the American flag. And, our administrative staff will help coordinate the logistics. But that's sort of the expectation. I do not envision us doing a different flag every week. I think we all know that we have the administrative capacity to do that. I see this as I don't, we'll have to experience it. Yeah.
Thank you for that explanation.
Any other questions or comments before we open this up for a public hearing? Councilmember Cooper.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to add to Councilmember Campbell's comments on the In God We Trust plaque, and that is the national motto and not something that is, of what the current events are. And so that there's, I think, a difference between that resolution and what this is today. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any other hands at this time. Thank you, Mr. Bridges. We'll open this up for a public hearing on Resolution 2023-107S. Anyone in chambers, we invite you to come to the podium and state your name for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to make your remarks.
Good afternoon, Council. My name's Eddie Hamilton. I come from Graham, and I appreciate the opportunity to comment tonight. I rise in opposition to the current form of the resolution. Whether the flag display will be for special occasions, temporary or permanent, is not made clear. We have displayed commemorative flags in the past. I've out of 30 years living in Pierce County, I have not heard of any disagreement about flags that have been about commemorative flags that have been displayed. But if we're going to establish a specific policy, it needs to be more firm than what is before us today. Whether it's going to be permanent, whether it's going to be temporary, whether it's going to be displayed at all. Government speech is also a new term for me. When government speaks, it is always on behalf of the public that they represent. I appreciate Mr. Bridges' explanation about government speech and the license plate example and so forth. And it's the same with the flags. I agree, okay? But though this is decided with public notice, to display a flag if it's decided with public notice, my concern is the opportunity for personal advocacy is made available, and it's not in the purview of the council, as I understand it, as their sole responsibility is to represent the constituents. I would be less concerned if it was a unanimous decision. I see the amendment here today that it's going to be decided by the Rules and Operations Committee, but I would prefer that it be approved with a unanimous decision by the council itself. And that way, I think we represent the public even better, rather than along party lines. Thank you, and I relinquish my remaining time.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else wishing to provide comment on this resolution? Seeing no one else in chambers coming forward, we'll turn to Zoom. Anyone on Zoom wishing to provide comment, please raise your hand in Zoom or press star 9 on your telephone keypad. Mr. Weinsberry.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. I'm not on here for this purpose, but since it's come up, just as a constituent who's listening and hearing about this, I'm just concerned that I'm just concerned of the necessity of this because we have we've spent so much time on this already here today, and the county is plagued with all kinds of real issues and difficult things that you guys are tasked with. So to create a whole thing about flying flags and having all these meetings and creating more work along that, it just seems like, as a taxpayer, I'm like, why are we paying you to do that? So I'm just being honest that I just feel like that shouldn't even be something that would be on your agenda. So I'm just kind of floored that with as many problems and difficulties and things that we have to deal with, that this would become something that is going to take, time is money. So this is going to cost money from paying whoever and having discussions like as long as this one in different meetings for what's the purpose. I don't feel like that's your purpose. So anyway, that's my thought as a constituent. I'm doubting I'm alone, but of course most people aren't listening. But so anyway, that's my thought. I don't understand it. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to comment.
Yolanda Markle. I live in the Spanaway area, Frederickson. And again, it's all about fear. We're having to make rules about things that should just be, that's not okay, and we all know that. And as a council and representative of the people, that's not okay. But to go through all of this, call me a conspiracy theorist, but on Canyon Road, there's like 10 flags that don't tread on me, the black and blue. So all of that thought process, and they're all including some historical flags. So again, this is all about, can we fly our historical flags? It's getting real weird, and it's not okay. And being politically correct, sometimes you gotta just like move up a little bit. Hello. It's happening. They want to spread the news, but most of us don't really want to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll close the public hearing and bring it back to council. Are there final council remarks on Resolution 2023-107S? Councilmember Hitchin.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you all for the dialogue and Mr. Bridges for so quickly drafting and getting this put together. And it's not done lightly. I understand what a flag can mean to people. And though we have joked multiple times about sporting events, there are a lot of times where flags can be really impactful. I appreciated Councilmember Morales' comments about we had said that we would, because we didn't want a flagpole with nothing on it, that we would use the POW MIA flag, and he expressed that was not a respectful way of treating that flag. And in hindsight, yes, that's exactly what we're doing. It was a placeholder, so I really appreciate that thought. The point is to find a way of visibly in our chambers expressing something that we are showing support for, something that we acknowledge is important, celebrate something, show solidarity with someone or an organization. And I think this is a way of being able to do this in a way that makes sense. I will also add, flags are excessively expensive, especially if we're going to be looking for very specific. So are we going to have a bazillion flags? No, we need to be responsible for that. But if there are times and events that we are continually coming back to where we want to make sure that we are showing solidarity, they're showing support or celebrating something, I think having that here and ready to put up makes a lot of sense. And then when the time is done, it comes down, gets folded up carefully and put away, and then it can come back out. And then if an organization would like us to display a flag, and it's something that you as a council member really truly believe, you come to rules and say, I really think this is a great idea. Here's how we're going to get it here. We'd like it here the first meeting the week of March because of X. They discuss it, make sure it's going to work, and then we say yes. And we're able to show our support in that way, in a very public way, not in a written piece of paper, but a visual aid. And we really are a very visual society. So I think this is just one more way of showing support. And just want to acknowledge and thank the staff and my council members for working with me on this and have my support. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Morel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I appreciate Councilmember Hitchin's explanation. I know that I would prefer that status quo be maintained, but understanding that things do change and progress is sometimes good. I think it was addressed that this is a new proposal brought forward. We don't have 100% specifics on everything, but I think it's been well thought out. I think anytime we bring something new, there's a fear involved in it that it will be misused. But I think if you were to reflect on past council decisions and votes on proclamation, I would say 99.9% of them are unanimous. And I think there again, we can agree to disagree on some issues, but I think majority of the council members understand their communities and what is good for Pierce County. And I think that we'll be able to move forward with this, and it won't be used in a negative way to promote causes. So with that, I will be supporting this. Maybe a little heels in the sand, but fine. And with that, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are there any other final remarks? Thank you. Councilmember Cruver.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to reiterate with Councilmember Morale and preferring that we stick with status quo. But I do want to comment or emphasize Councilmember Hitchens' mentioning of that we are a visual society. And I just hope we remember that. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell?
Thank you, and thank you, Councilmember Kruger, for reminding me that "In God We Trust" is the national motto adopted in July of 1956. Prior to that, it was the other one that we have up there, Pluribus Unum, of many one. But got me thinking, we don't have the Washington State motto up there, which happens to be the Native American word alki for togetherness, or a couple different ones, but that's the national state one. And it also got me thinking, we don't have a Pierce County motto. So I think I know what we're working on next. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Cruver, is your hand back up? I'm sorry for not remembering.
It is, just for a moment. If I recall, historically, the reason "In God We Trust" was made the national motto is that was the one thing that differentiated us from the Russian Constitution or Soviet Union Constitution. So there's quite a deep meaning in that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I'll just close debate by thanking members and staff for helping us think through this. You know, we have a lot of responsibilities in the legislative branch of government. Certainly, we are the policy-making branch of county government. We are the appropriators of funds, so we are the budget writers for government. We are also a representative democracy, and we spend so much of our time, as we should, out in community, listening and representing community, hearing what their concerns, hopes, and dreams are for the community, and bringing those back and trying to do something about them. And part of that is celebrating. And we celebrate through proclamation, we celebrate through award and through recognition, and sometimes through flag. We're out in the community speaking at events and participating in discussions. A big part of our role in the legislative branch is being present, being visibly present, being present to listen and learn, and also help our community celebrate milestones. So, ceremonial moments might not feel substantive to some folks or a good use of time to some folks, but these celebratory moments are really important to our communities, for community members to be able to help, again, channel their hopes and dreams and futures. So I appreciate the members for thinking through how the legislative branch of government can thoughtfully use a symbol of a flag appropriately. I trust we're going to work together to be judicious about it because of the expense and time it does take. So it does take time and effort to do this right and well. So I trust us to be judicious about it, like I believe we are with our proclamation process and other processes. So thank you again for this discussion. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on Resolution 2023-107S?
Councilmember Morale.
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Cruver.
Yay.
Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Nay.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Aye.
Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
The result, the roll call vote is 5 ayes and 2 nays.
On a vote of 5 ayes and 2 nays, the resolution is adopted. That brings us to community forum. I do know we still have another matter sitting on the other business calendar, but we are at community forum. Community forum is an opportunity for members of the public to address the council on any topic that did not appear on today's agenda. There is a 3-minute time limit. We ask you to please state your name if you would like it on the record and address all comments to the chair. I'll start those who are in chambers. Is there anyone in chambers wishing to participate in community forum? I'll invite you to the podium. Please state your name again if you would like it on the record. And there's a timer to your right.
Thank you. My name is Christopher Teitzel. Chairman Mello, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of the council today. I'm speaking to you as a concerned citizen, community member, president of my neighborhood HOA, and most importantly, father to 2 young children, 7 and 9. For years, we've been dealing with an issue of a reckless teenager who's now an adult putting our community at risk, ranging from simple noise violations, underage drinking, to trespassing, vandalism, driving, and boating under the influence. Each time we felt unsafe, we have called 911 to get assistance, and each time we've left disappointed in the response. As residents of unincorporated Pierce County out in Gig Harbor, we rely on the Pierce County Sheriff's Department to protect us, and yet when we need them the most, they've been largely absent. We've been told multiple times by dispatchers and deputies that unless a number of people call on a single incident within a 30-minute period, we likely will not get a response. We now make sure that we have those multiple calls, and we still get silence. Last year, fed up with the lack of support, I visited the sheriff's desk in this very building to speak directly to a deputy about the situation and what we can do to actually get support. I was told to my face that unless there was violence, injury, or death, there would likely not be anything done. Let that sink in. You can likely understand how that makes me feel. As a parent, I'm being told by those whose duty it is to serve and protect our community that until a situation involving my family rises to violence, injury, or death, that I'm on my own. Now, we've been dealing with this individual's reckless behavior for years. However, this summer, it's reached a crescendo, one that has me seriously worried about the safety of our community. On the 4th of July, my children were almost killed by this individual's reckless behaviors. My sons and his friends, ages 5 to 9, were out on kayaks, playing within 50 yards of the bulkhead. I look up and see this individual coming in on their boat, towing a wakeboarder and not slowing down. They weave through the moored boats and come within a few feet of our kids on their kayaks, going roughly 20 miles an hour. The wakeboarder then cuts over and slaps the bow of one of the kayaks. Had the kids fallen in the water, they could have been easily pulled into the prop wash and severely injured or worse. We had a party going at the time with 30 to 40 people who all witnessed this event. 911 was called by multiple people, including neighbors and boaters in the area who we did not know, all reporting this incident of reckless endangerment. We requested the sheriff come to the residence and my family's residence or the Marine support, and we asked them to call us for more information with the outcome. The whole night went by and not a word from the sheriff. To shock and dismay of all that were there, not a word from the sheriff, to the shock and dismay of all who were there. We finally had to call in the following day to find out that the Marine unit did respond, but instead of coming to the location of the incident, stopped almost a half a mile away and left after 30 minutes without contacting us. This latest incident, I'm deeply concerned about the continuous actions of this individual can and likely lead to serious injury or death of someone in our community.
Please summarize your comments, sir. I have to be fair to everybody on the time limit.
I'm here today asking the council for assistance in any way to keep our community safe and protected from reckless individuals like this ones we're dealing with. And I look forward to continue to voice my concerns and work with the council, the sheriff's office, and all those that will listen to keep our community safe.
Sir, we appreciate you being here. This is not a back and forth, but we hear you. We take what you said very seriously. I'm certain your Councilmember Denson, will want to meet with you at the conclusion of the meeting to learn more. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. Anyone else in chambers wishing to provide comment?
Thank you again, Chair Mello and the council. Again, my name's Eddie Hamilton. I come from Graham. If my understanding of the tribal tribute is correct, it is to be read each week at the opening of the regularly scheduled council meeting. I question the wisdom of doing so. Being so reminded week after week over time may be perceived by many as browbeating or even intimidation of non-tribal members. thereby causing unintended and unhealthy resentments among Pierce County residents. May I suggest that we have a variety of tributes that may be read each week that represent the entire community of Pierce County. With respect to the tribes, the earth and all that is in it belongs to the Lord. It is He who assigns stewards and the period of their stewardships. On another matter, if I may, last week I was prepared to comment on one of the proclamations, but was informed rule changes had been made preventing such comment. After speaking with a couple of the council members, though unclear, out of respect, I did not offer comment. Personal research did not reveal any such changes in the Pierce County Code regarding public comment, but reinforced the current rule of commenting on any legislation or resolution, including proclamations. However, just this afternoon, I received email from the council staff on R 202319, updating rules for public comment. So I appreciate that. Having the opportunity for a cursory review of these changes, I remain of the opinion that the council attempts to limit public comment is a violation of the United States Constitution's First Amendment. Though in the council's view, unnecessary, unpleasant, and even moot comment may not be denied. My understanding is a time limit may be applied, but the issue of a public prerogative restricting public comment subjects by the council may even bring about a possible legal challenge. Again, my thanks, and I relinquish my remaining time.
Thank you. Anyone else in chambers wishing to provide comment during community forum? I'm not seeing any. We'll turn to Zoom. We are in the community forum portion of our meeting. If you wish to provide comments, please raise your hand in Zoom or press *9 on your telephone keypad.
Good afternoon. My name is Yolanda Markle, resident of Pierce County, Spanaway, and 3 houses from the canyon expansion. In this process, I've had trees pulled out, my landscaping pulled out. Okay, it is Pierce County property. But now my beautiful yard looks like somebody's garage, empty lot, because it's all full of weeds and all that. I personally haven't had a chance to put in the complaint because I'm dealing with my mother-in-law in hospice at this moment in time, so I've been a little busy. But now my front yard is full of weeds, and you guys are responsible for it. So it'd be nice if you guys could take care of your property, and mine is the only one that got ripped up. So please, it's yours. Make it nice. Fix it. And maybe you owe me for a few fruit trees too. So thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands. I do see in the Zoom room an appointee that we already appointed, Marcus Harvey. Marcus, thank you for making time to be with us. We did take action, affirmative action, on your appointment today, earlier in our meeting, to appoint you. Thank you for your willingness to be appointed. We would welcome you to briefly introduce yourself and say anything you wish to with the council.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Marcus Harvey from Frederickson. Thank you very much for your appointment. I am ready to serve, and if possible in the future, I'd like to actually do it in person, if that's possible.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you for your willingness to serve on the Frederickson Advisory Commission, and we appreciate you being here to introduce yourself to council. Again, we took action to appoint you there. Thank you again. Thank you. I don't see any other hands for community forum. Councilmember Cruver, I'll call on you before I call on a motion for an ordinance that is on our other business calendar. Councilmember Cruver.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say thank you, Mr. Harvey. I very much appreciate you signing up for this. I was asking folks who wants to serve, who out there can be on this Frederickson Council, because we didn't have a quorum, we couldn't meet, and you answered the call. And I want to thank you, and I look forward to meeting you at one of your meetings. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Harvey.
Thank you. Again, in closing community forum, we appreciate everyone who took the time to communicate with us. We'll certainly have Councilmember Denson follow up with you, sir. I'm certain she wants to learn more about how she can be helpful. And for the questions raised about the change in our rules of procedure, welcome more conversation about that to make it more clear. And I know the clerk of the council will also make herself available to help explain any changes that we made. And we strive to be as clear as we can and fair and transparent in the work that we do. So we appreciate the feedback. We are at other business and announcements, section 11 of our agenda, and ordinance number 2023-24 was moved here. I'll turn to Councilmember Denson for a motion.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I move proposal number 2023-24 for referral to the Community Development Committee.
And for a date of final action on July 25th, 2023.
For a date of final council action on July 25th, 2023.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded that we refer proposal number 2023-24 to the Community Development Committee and set a date of final council action of July 25th, 2023. Mr. Cox, do I need to have this written to the record for this purpose?
I think you probably should.
Madam Clerk, will you please read the title into the record? It's 2023-24.
Yes. An ordinance of the Pierce County Council repealing ordinance number 2023-5S and ordinance number 2023-14 in response to a petition filed with the Growth Management Hearings Board in consolidated case number 23-30005C entitled FutureWise Spanaway Concerned Citizens, Angela Schrick, Melanie Atwood, and Dan Atwood versus Pierce County and Tacoma Rescue Mission in anticipation of a settlement agreement and adopting findings of fact. Thank you.
Thank you. The action in front of us is to refer this matter to the Community Development Committee, and as council always does, sets a date of final council action. And for this item, it is set for July 25th, 2023. I'm not going to ask for a staff briefing because it has to go through a whole lot more process, though we will get one if somebody requests one. Let me see what questions or comments council members have. Councilmember Morell, you asked for this to be moved off the consent agenda so that it could have further discussion before we scheduled it. So Councilmember Morell.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I did remove it off consent because I did want to address it up front. My concern with moving this policy forward is it looks like, and it is possibly perceived, that we're moving backwards on a policy that we passed early this year, which is 5S. And that policy was heavily debated by one of the longest council meetings that we've had to date. And in good faith, we moved it forward. There again, it wasn't unanimous, but yet it was moved forward. Now we're looking at rescinding a policy that this council passed on a land use issue due to the appeals that have been filed to the Growth Management Review Board. It is not uncommon when this council makes major policy decisions that appeals are made to the Growth Hearing Board. And for us to, I will say, cut and run and retract, maybe even looked at as we've seen the errors of our ways, and now we're rescinding it. I think it's poor precedence, it's bad policy, and I have concern moving forward with that. Second issue, as we're all aware of, is TRM, Tacoma Rescue Mission, has now narrowed that property down, and the county has now loaned them the money to purchase a particular piece of property within this RR zone. And my concern is that we're somewhat abandoning TRM in their efforts to establish a homeless community in an area. Granted, it is a sensitive area. I understand the concerns. But also, as this council move forward with just this agenda, two of the resolutions we passed was to acknowledge the fact that we're fully engaged in the providing and establishing priorities for stable housing for the homeless. To me, this smacks of another barrier that we are putting up. There again, two separate issues. I understand that. But when it goes to the hearing examiner, these issues are going to be brought up. And the fact that we have repealed our decision gives ammunition to those that are appealing, and I'm just kind of concerned on what the outcome will be. And there again, I start with, this is bad policy for us to be pulling back at this point in time. I think if we were to wait and just see what happens, we've already extended the date to now December 1st through our resolution 2023-14. That was a step that I agreed with that we needed to make based on one appeal. And now that we've got another appeal, it seems like we're willing to step back entirely. And so with that, that's my concern. And if it does move forward, then I'll address some of the issues during the committee meetings and at final. So thank you for the opportunity to be able to talk about my concerns. And that's all I have to say, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Morrell. Councilmember Denson.
Yes, thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councilmember Morrell, for your comments. I'm not going to get into all of the reasons why I sponsored this ordinance, because today this is only about referring the issue to Community Development Committee for continued discussion and for action. So we will be having all those conversations now. I will just comment that this probably doesn't come of great surprise to anyone. I was in opposition to this ordinance back in March along with Councilmember Krueger, and I continue to have concerns. Of course, majority rules, so we moved forward. But now that we have the two petitions to the Growth Management Hearing Board, I am not excited at all about county resources being used to double down and defend an ordinance that I didn't feel was right in the first place. So I'm concerned about taxpayer resources and a lot of staff time going to defend this decision. I'm also concerned about whatever the outcome is of the hearings board, if it does get to that point, affecting our future abilities to work with shared housing villages in appropriate locations in the county. So I want to preserve our ability to do that and our ability to do that in the best way possible in order to help chronic homeless individuals in our community. So I appreciate council's hopefully moving this forward to the Community Development Committee to continue this discussion. And thank you for bringing this up.
Thank you. Mr. Kruger, I know you're in the Zoom room with us. Just for the public's information, the action today is to schedule it and refer it to the Community Development Committee. We cite a date of final council action so that we can properly notice this to the public for final council action of July 25th. But for the public's information, when is the Community Development Committee scheduled to take this up?
Can you hear me, Mr. Chair?
We can.
The Community Development Committee would hear this on July 17th at 1:30 p.m.
Thank you. Any other remarks? I think the time and place to have the further debate about what's in the public and county's interest related to this matter in light of 2 Growth Management Hearings Board appeals will be at the Community Development Committee, and then assuming it advances from there at a final council, a Community Development Committee on July 17th, and then if it moves forward from there, at a final council meeting on July 25th. I would recommend that we schedule this for referral to the Community Development Committee. Vice Chair Campbell.
I'm pausing on my thoughts because I'm trying to wrap my head around what's happening. I guess I don't understand the direction we're taking on everything, so I'm just, let's refer it to committee and discuss it more. Because I want to understand what we're doing, because I'm hearing 2 different sets of this'll do this or this'll do that. And I think committee's the place to have that discussion and make sure it does say in there finding a fact. We'll want to make sure that we are clear on what it does and does not do. Thank you.
Thank you. I need to take a roll call vote on this. This is not a final action item. This is a scheduling and introduction item, so I'm not going to open this up for a public hearing. There will be a public hearing at the Community Development Committee on July 17th and another public hearing on July 25th. And of course, we welcome written comments. So the motion before us is to refer proposal number 2023-24 to the Community Development Committee, again, for a committee meeting of July 17th, and a date of final council action on July 25th, 2023. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you. Excuse me. Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Kruger.
Aye.
Excuse me, was that aye, ma'am?
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Denson.
Aye.
Councilmember Herrera.
Nay.
Councilmember Hitchin.
Aye.
Councilmember Morrell.
Nay.
Councilmember Mello.
Aye.
The result of the roll call vote is 5 ayes and 2 nays.
On a vote of 5 ayes and 2 nays, the proposal will be referred to the Community Development Committee. Seeing no other business, are there, excuse me, let me pause and ask if there's any other business or announcements by council members. Any other business or announcements by council members? Not seeing any. Mr. Taylor, any other business or announcements for council today?
No, sir.
Seeing no other business before the Pierce County Council, we are adjourned.